Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Welcome to fix the mic now. Welcome to my Manic Mondays. I'm your host, CJ Robles, and we're just letting everybody kind of get settled. Everybody come in. Hello. We're just here hanging out, about to have ourselves a really nice episode. We're gonna explore a little bit of the whole mental health Mondays, movies, and see how they go together. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the like. Steve Gray, thank you, sir. Well, I had a great weekend. How's everybody's weekend? Mine was pretty good. I got to go to a party that started at 5 and then until midnight. My friend turned 50 and she's from Mexico, so we had a great time. Big family event. My son was having a great time dancing, and yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of food, a lot of eating. I'll post maybe a pic or two later. But man, it was such a great time. But really brought me to my roots of being from the border and being able to go to Mexico and go and eat all the time in Acuna and even hanging out with a lot of people on the party scene back in the day. Hey Ray, how's it going? How's it going over there in Alaska? Ooh, just saying it makes me shrivel. Just joking. All right. Before we get started, let's make sure I have everything going. We're coming to you live from the Indie Escape Network. If you want to catch some of our shows, keep up with us. Just remember, it is facebook.com/the Indie Escape. And then we have also at YouTube. Look us up, the Indie Escape. And we also got a show tomorrow with Steve Gray, so get ready for that. We got a lot of stuff going. Joe Ridgely. Oh, Joe Ridgely's in the house. What's up, Joe? Our producer just got back from Cocoa, Florida, and he is doing the horror convention out there. So we're gonna get some video and some footage about that. Oh, hi, hello, thank you, hi. So we'll catch up with Joe soon enough, but we're here today because it is okay to giggle because we're gonna have a very special guest today. Someone that I have fortunately enough was able to meet through the Escape family, and I'm so honored to have him on my show. I don't want to keep him waiting much longer, so I'm gonna keep here. He is the man behind Kill Giggles, and if we want to know about Kill Giggles, it's I got it right here on the IMDb. Giggles 2020, 1 hour and 34 minutes. I'm gonna promote your movie real quick, Jason, because I am looking forward to this. Well, you know what? We'll promote it when you get on here. Let's just get him out here, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like everybody to say hello to Jaysen Buterin. Hello, Jason. What's up, man?
How are you, sir? Hello,
Good.
internet.
Hello, Escape family. Sorry, I didn't want to keep him waiting too much. And also,
I get that, dude. Some people got to pay by the minute for this shit, so we gotta get it out there.
Yeah, let's go. Man, how's it going? How's everything going?
Good. I'm living the dream, or I can't wake up from the nightmare. It depends on which side of the coin we're on.
I mean, it's right. You just flip it and see where you're at, and then we'll go from there. Man, I gotta say, like, I was talking to him a little bit before the green room. In the green room, we were getting started. I was looking over my notes and just looking over. I was looking them up today, and what's out there on you. And man, the just your interviews and just all the information you have about your filmmaking process and just the way you're like honest. You're perfect for the Indie Escape. You're like one of the guys that I look up to as a filmmaker now because I've been able to see a lot of your stuff and brother, I was like, we're gonna find a way to find movies and mental health, and I have the way you made Kill Giggles. The whole thing behind it was that you hate clowns.
Pretty much. Ill-advised psychotherapy.
Like one of the quotes I liked, you said why go to psychotherapy when you can just make a movie? Can you talk talk to us about the experience about like really facing a fear like clowns, and then you made a movie about it?
Yeah, clearly I'm not the brightest bulb in the box. So yeah, terrified of clowns. Never ever liked them. Well, I mean, actually, that's what's weird. Like, I wasn't born this way. I think I consciously made this decision. I think I was okay for the first couple of years that I existed. I remember not being bothered by it anyway. And then I saw Poltergeist, and the marionette scene just completely fucking unhinged me. And it was just all spiraled wonderfully downhill after that and built up into this seething, blinding hatred and rage. which I then channeled into filmmaking, so that I still got to come home and hug my baby boy at night, but I didn't get blood on my clothes. Well, I mean, I did, but it was the cool kind of blood.
Yeah.
Like that's like I have to go in defense exhibit A kind of stuff. Um, so Kill Giggles was self-administered, ill-advised psychotherapy. We actually, I tested this out. I wanted to see how I would do on set around clowns, because I wanted to make the movie where spoiler, we kill them. So we did a short called The Corner back in 2017, I think it was. I don't know. There's the before the apocalypse, and then it still feels like March 2020. So I get confused. Time gets wibbly wobbly sometimes. But we did The Corner. There we go. There's a big poster. And it was an amazing experience. It was terrifying because the character who played our floppy footed antagonist, brilliant boy by the name of Mr. Joe Harp. He wore the clown cut, like the get up the whole night, and basically he would just hide. Like there would be like a 3-inch crack between the refrigerator and the wall, and he would somehow, like, his bones would shift and he would just seep into that 3-inch crack and then wait for somebody to walk by. And it might be like 45 minutes, and somebody would walk by, and then everybody on, there were like 6 people on set, everybody screamed, and I peed myself a little because I was so scared. But I handled it. I survived the set, and then so I wanted to take that further. I wanted to make Kill Giggles. I still don't like clowns. I hate looking at them. So, post was fun, post production and editing, and having to stare at nothing but clowns over and over and over, and being on set and being terrified. The last day of filming, my DP, Mr. Jesse Knight, and the makeup artist, Ms. Aerosol, pulled a sneaky little prank, and they made Jesse's face up like a clown while I was off doing a bunch of director shit, and come back into our first setup and get ready for the first shot, and my DP's got clown face on, so I peed a little again, and I mean, actually, that's what great art is that balance between not being committed and peeing a little.
Just a little pee.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. It gets you going just a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's summertime in North Carolina too, so I mean, it was hard to tell between I just like to pee in the
Sweat,
moisture in the air. Very moist outside when we filmed.
Man, I've been to the Carolinas once when I was 21. I flew out there to go hang out with a friend who was in the Marines. I think it was Cherry Point. It was where they're located, and it's like somewhere on the coast. And we drove for about an hour from North Carolina down to South Carolina. And I didn't even think about the Atlantic coast was right next to us because there's trees and stuff, but I couldn't see to the other side. We were driving, and I was like, "Man, where's this beach at?" He's like, "Just beyond the trees over the yonder." And I was like, "Let's go check it out." And I was like, "Oh man, I would like to just be able to film here. It's like a beach. It's like a real beach. Like this is awesome."
Did he really say over the yonder?
Or something, yeah, something like over beyonder or something like that.
One thing I love about North Carolina is, I mean, because where I'm at, I mean, I'm like 3 hours from the mountains, 3 hours from the ocean. So I mean, you can go the way. I mean, you can find so much topography and landscapes and environments, and I mean, just little worlds and stuff like that scattered around the state. It's amazing. So it's super cool. We filmed at some absolutely drop dead gorgeous locations. Yeah, natural, man-made, all sorts of good stuff.
And then when you go out like scout looking for your movie, for your locations for your movie, is it just like something you specifically go look for, or are you already drawn? You're like, I know I need this. I know I need to go get fat because this is kind of like the yonder or whatnot.
It sort of depends. I've been lucky enough to work with some amazing location coordinators, like Ms. Beth Compton, who's just amazing because I have a very visual way of, even when I'm writing screenplays, I have a very directorial visual way of writing. So I mean, I know what I see in my head.
Yeah.
So I kind of use that, frighteningly enough, as a foundation. So, just sort of going into long, rambling, over caffeinated descriptions of piecing together like these 47 scenes from these different movies that have a piece of a building that I want. And she somehow distills that down into just location epicness. And then just being able to have a lot of fortunate to have made a lot of film friends and around that just, I mean, it's that wonderfully incestuous cinematic community where it's like you go and you work on someone's set and you do this and you help them out and they help you out with this, and everyone just sort of creatively feeds into each other. So sharing that literal, I mean, like the Indie Escape Network, tapping that network of, you're looking for this kind of place and you put the word out there and you find it. And I mean, just making that kind of cinematic synergy happen.
Yeah, that connection's great. I mean, it's one thing that this has done for me, just being able, like, learning how to work from home, or like learning how to like communicate. I've learned to like trust more people online, as in like just these kind of hangout sessions, because we're all talking about things we enjoy. We are hanging about things that we want to do, and it's great. Like to me, I've always thought like, well, the internet's man-made, it's fake. Don't take it too serious, because it's always someone on the other side that's like a wolf in sheep clothing or whatnot. But then as I started to,
it's okay. Sheep can be in wolf's clothing now.
that too, right? Yeah. Nowadays, yeah. No, you're totally
it's
right.
All fluid, man.
They just do what they got to do. They just pop them out. But like, I always took it like that. And then now, like, being able to meet people that are also filmmakers, or also musicians, or other people like yourself. And so you got started with the 48-hour film project, or is that something that you just dipped into and then just excelled?
Yeah, no, I mean, that was sort of my first real foray into independent filmmaking. I was in Hawaii on a honeymoon, and I had a couple of friends that did it. I was like, I wanted to do that, but I was busy shagging a beautiful blonde on a beach in Hawaii. So I mean, priorities. Then when I came back, they had it again the next year. I'm like, oh, I remember that. So we did it, and we ended up getting an honorable mention for best writing, which in my mind was like, I'm an award-winning screenwriter now. I was like, ha! I was not. My screenplay was like a 6-page prose paragraph, like just one fucking thing. I'm like, ha! You're formatting. I'm like, scene breaks are for losers. I'm like, hey. It was just a fucking horrible train wreck. But again, that was the spark that sort of lit the fire, because we ended up that was fun, but it wasn't enough. I didn't want to wait a year to do another 48 hours. So we did a short film project based off of North Carolina folklore tale called The Devil's Tramping Ground. So we kind of did that, and it ended up being like a 45-minute long movie, which is just the worst fucking length for a movie ever, because it's way too long to be a short, not long enough to be a feature. And it's just it was just and again, fucking train wrecks. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing writing stuff. And I would hand actors like a paragraph, and they're like, what? I'm like, script. And no. So then I learned things about like formatting, and then Final Draft opened up a whole new world to me. And we did the 48-hour again next year. We didn't win anything, and I blame that on the judges having a horrible collie molestation habits that they didn't want getting leaked out to the liberal media. I don't think that was true. It just wasn't. But the story that I wrote for that ended up being it was called Booze, Bullets, and Hot Pink Jesus, because I wanted to write a very social distortion-y sounding song, and that was the most social distortion-y sounding title I could come up with. So we did, and then but that ended up being the basis for the short film trilogy we did called The Gospel According to Booze, Bullets, and Hot Pink Jesus, which was a 4-year labor of love. So all of that sprang out of the 48-hour, and I was a judge for a couple of years, which I don't recommend doing at all.
Yeah.
Because that was way before the apocalypse, and people were whiny dickholes then. I can't imagine how much worse.
Oh God, yes.
Well, it's just like the spot. It's just it was crazy. I mean, these grown fucking adults, and it was like just you want to hit them like in the head with a hammer, but like an inflatable squeaky hammer. So it's just a little bit. It's like is that way you get the visceral satisfaction of hitting someone in the head with a hammer, but again, like you avoid unnecessary, penal experiences.
Yeah, penal. Yes, from the rear. So you use you don't do storyboard, you do a shot list, and you go real detailed in your shot list, right?
Yes, much to the chagrin of my my director of photographer, Mr. Jesse Knight. Yeah, very. And I think the first one, like the first short I did, that I wrote a shot list for, maybe like a 7-page script. I think I had like a 14-page shot list. I was like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, like, but I basically compiled the shot list like the edit of a film. So I'm like, this to this to this to this to this, and I had no idea. I'm like, why? Back, we're doing the wine. And I'm going back and forth. I'm like, we'll move the camera back. And he's like, no, we're gonna set it up and do the wide. And then I learned like how the progression. I'm like, oh, and again, all the stuff that is into is how to write and shoot and direct and distribute your own independent film books that are on the shelves back there that I've never read because I've been too busy writing, shooting, and directing independent films.
So you can write your own book now.
Yeah, they look fantastic. Though they make great filler.
Oh yeah, where am I at? They're mine right there.
The
creme de la creme.
Yes, it's good for that. Good for
that.
So yeah, 40 hours fun. It's I think every filmmaker should do it. It's a trial by fire. Yeah. But for me, I wanted more. I didn't want to wait. I had too many stories in my head that I had to get out. I had to get the demons out as much
Yeah.
as I could.
Yeah, and because the reason I was asking that because if you're trying to get like a fear on like visually out, but you're just using you're just writing down like descriptive notes. I was wondering how someone else would interpret your fear, like your videographer or your cinematographer, how they were like able to like find that medium with you without actually seeing what you're going through. If that makes
It's
any
just a
sense.
matter of, I mean, it's like with filming, I think with a lot of different arts. I mean anything in life really. I mean, it's a matter of finding someone whose crazy plays well with yours. And I again with Mad One's films, with the relationships that I've been able to build, especially I do a lot of work with I say, mentioned Mr. Jesse Knight, Mr. Justin Reich. I've done a lot of work with him too. To be able to find these relationships with people because they can understand. And again, I mentioned how like my mouth goes, my brain goes at 78, my mouth goes at 45, and the rest of the world's at 33 and a third. They can shift the speed lever up on the turntable that is the fucking dumpster fire of me. And they can filter through that. So it's like, I mean, I can hand Jesse a shot list and they'll be like, no, no, no. And he'll take that 6-page shot list and whittle it down to like the 3 pages maybe that we actually need. And then whatever he actually, but it gives him an idea because I've worked with him long enough. Like he understands my crazy. He can translate. He can decipher, which I think is important. Because again, especially when I get on a set, you get flustered. You get these like words get hard. And or I also get so excited. I mean, I start to stutter. I'm like because I can see it in my head and I know how I want everything to unfold, but I have
Yeah,
to wait for my mouth to catch up. And it's just like, fuck, would you get there already? So it's finding those people that just that get you, that complete you.
they can.
Um, and I've been extremely lucky with that. Like like with Kill Giggles. And again, it's I mean, Jesse Knight, Jason Ledford, John Mazza, Thorin Clader, myself. I mean, those comrades in arms, brothers from other mothers. I mean, they've been with me since the beginning when Kill Giggle started off as a short, and then I had like 6 composition books full of clown death. Which again, when I get committed, like all that's going to be like People's Exhibit A through B, volume 1 and 2, and then that's just again, it's going to expedite the commitment process. It'll probably just be like a drive up, check off, like she'll just boot me out of the car and like, roll into a platinum coat. It's okay. I've been committed before. It's fun. It's good times. I should get like a punch card and just kind of go through that.
You get your free one, your 10th one, you're free.
Yeah. You get like a window room. Then like,
Yeah, you've clocked it enough time. Let's see. Ray Shepard, he said, "Enjoy. We need to road trip to the world famous clown motel in Tonopah, Nevada. Each room has a different clown theme. Wow. The old Tonopah cemetery is right next door. Wes Craven meets Stephen King type theme. Ouch. But I love it.
yeah, no, I don't want to go to where there is
Clowns.
like I mean like because I thought about if Hollywood ever gets off their injected cheeks and releases a film, like it'd be a perfect place for a screening, but I don't want to go there because I'm gonna burn it to the ground and I'm gonna feel bad because that's ruining someone's livelihood, even though they should have obviously made a much more informed career choice. But so then I'm the arsonist asshole, and then I can't have that PR attached to the film. So it's again making sacrifices for your art and not burning down a clown motel, which is again all this is going to come back. Will you make sure that they play this when I get committed?
Yeah, I'll make sure. I'll be like, it's art. Look,
As
it's
long
on
as you get
here.
the syndication rights, like I want you to be able to get the hits and the stats.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, I mean the analytics help. So
And it's things like that. Like when you're like knowing analytics nowadays and learning how to like broadcast and communicate, I'm like, man, I just wanted to create. But at the same time, when you kind of learn that back end of it, like you can push yourself a lot farther and you can go a lot more where you need to go. And it's weird, but
you
it's a
can always
life.
go where you need to go if you learn the back end.
Yes. Yes. That is so true. Like because the camera, it only points at what it wants. And if you're not there, you're going to have to go somewhere else. A lot of downtime on sets got me thinking like, I need to write more, or I need to be more productive, or need to be more hands-on. I had read that Harrison Ford was George Lucas's like handyman on set. So that, that's how close he was to George Lucas, to be Han Solo, to be Decker, and to be Indiana Jones. That's insane. Like just because he had other skills beyond acting, which I think is amazing. Like yourself, you have a lot of talents. I was listening to an interview and said that you were banging pots and pans to learn how to play the drums, and then you became a musician. That's
Yeah, my mom got mad. She got mad, so we ended up getting a cheap drum kit off a shady wedding DJ. I think my dad beat him in a game of darts or something. Yeah, I went from banging on pots and pans to plots and plans, I guess. That should be holy shit. That should be on a T-shirt. All right, we should trademark that for the indie thing. It'll
I
make
got
Joe.
you. It's be recorded. We'll put it up there.
Hey, Joe, maybe that'll be the name of my show, Banging on Plots and Plans or something. We'll
figure it out. Joe originally loved this. Is it true Jaysen may have his own show on the Indie Escape Network? If not, maybe a great host position on some of the network shows. Inquiring minds want to know. Well, he's got the show.
And inquiring minds or inquiring minds? Those seem like two entirely different mindsets, Joe Ridgely.
So Joe, yeah, he's been on Saturday nights. We'll find out on his show. Where does Diablo come from?
See, Joe's idea of a show and my idea of a show, like that Facebook Class stuff, like that's just me. Like I've had rum and my son's gone to sleep. Yay! And like, it's not a show. Like what CJ got? This is a show. I'm just a wreck.
Hey, you're part of us, dude. You could. I learned the back end, so you could be what? Yeah, you could be on the front end. I'll get your show up and running. Get a real show going. I mean, it's true, but I think a lot of things that make you interesting are that you're willing to show like us, like the behind. You know, when you're at your convention, and you're with your lead actor, and it's like amazing. You're like hanging out. I think I took that photo down. Let me see real quick. Yeah, I think I took it down, but it's like so cool. Like just that you're like one of the convention, one of the guys. You know, one of the people. And then it really like helps us out. Like it helps me understand that like I'm not too far a stone's throw away to being like, oh, I learned from this person. And I mean, it's so cool.
We got, I mean, I myself, Mad Ones Films, we got a lot of our start at conventions. Because before we, conventions led to proper film festivals. But a lot of conventions were having, they had film, basically they were showing movies, calling it film festivals, cinematic showcases, whatever like that. But that was how we got into it. Con Carolinas, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina, opened up a lot of doors for us, and that led to Mysticon and things like Fright Night and Fandom Fest, and then eventually those film festivals at conventions led to proper film festivals, and that just sort of opened up a whole other world to us, both in terms of production of product, as well as promotion and marketing. I mean, it changes the skill set, but conventions are amazing. There was one we were supposed to go to at the end of February, Mysticon, which is in Roanoke, Virginia. One of my favorite ones, just absolutely amazing, an amazing place. But I love the convention part, just because it's such a different social network than who you see and who you meet at film festivals. And again, this is in the before times, but before the apocalypse hit, film festivals are amazing opportunities to be able to meet so many different people, because you never know who you're going to meet. And I've seen brilliant works of art created from people meeting at a film festival the previous year, and they keep in touch, and one's a writer and one's a director, or one's an actor and the other's got a camera or something like that, and coming back the following year with something that they made. And that, to me, it's fucking remarkable. But conventions are sort of different, because it's a lot of conventions are multi-fandom. So you're going to have your literary, you're going to have your writers, your artists, your dealers, your vendors. A lot of them have filmmakers, cosplayers, LARPers. There's a thing called filking, which to me just sounds fucking disgusting.
What is that? What is that?
It's like, don't let me think of it. Just go look it up on Urban Dictionary. Dude.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Yeah, like it sounds like something that should just be gross, but it's not, which is all the more disappointing. No offense to any filkers out there, if that's your jam. If filking is your jam, by all means, more filking power to you. Yeah. It's just like, it sounds like it should be like super dirty, but it's not. And then you get disappointed because you looked it up and it's horribly anticlimactic. But what were we talking about? Conventions, yes.
Conventions, yes.
It's just the interaction with people there, because a lot of it, so some of the people of the convention going public are just amazed to be able to meet filmmakers, to meet artists, to meet writers, you know, and then to be able to, you know, a lot of, you know, any of those self-respecting writers, artists, and filmmakers are going to have their product there, if not for sale, at least for promotion. So these people get a chance to see these books and buy a book right there and shake the hand of the person that wrote it. And that blows a lot of people's minds for a very wonderful reason. And that's one of the things I love about being a filmmaker there, is because I just being able to meet the people and for them just to have a however quick, however long it may be, because some conversations go on really long.
Yeah.
To have a sincere conversation with someone who's just grateful to be able to talk to someone who made a movie blows their mind. And it's very rewarding and gratifying just to be on the other side of the table, because I mean, and they'll ask you to sign something, and I always laugh. And I'm like, oh, you're serious. There's like, it's like, yeah, like, am I being served with papers or anything like that? And like, no, just sign the poster. You're like, oh, okay. So it's weird, but I love that interaction with people at conventions, and the ones that we've been at, again, before the apocalypse. We wouldn't be where we're at now. We wouldn't be on the Kill Giggles track, and with everything we've got coming after that, if it weren't for conventions. I fully believe that.
Man, yeah, I can kind of see, before, when I was going just as a fan. I was just going to conventions, take my photos, shake hands, and then walk away. Then a lot of the talent would be like, where are you going? I'd be like, oh, I just took the photo. You don't want to hang out? How you doing? Tell me, let's talk. Let's meet. The first one was it not? It's not. Is it Shangun, the younger brother? Not the director, but the actor. I met him, and I shook his hand and I took a photo, like a selfie, and I walked away, and he was still holding my hand. He goes, "Hey, buddy, come on, let's hang out." I was like, "What? I could talk to you?" And once I did that, I was like, "Okay." And I turned around, and Billy Zane was right here, and I just started talking to Billy Zane, and I was like, "I love Billy Zane. I'm just gonna go talk to him." And talk to Billy Zane for like 15 minutes, man. I was just like, Billy's so cool. So I was like, I have to, man. I bought a selfie, I bought a photo, and I was just like, he's just so awesome. Like, I don't know. I did want to do the Zoolander, put a cork in it, Zane, but no, I didn't want to quote that movie. We did quote Demon Knight. I do like Demon Knight a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you can't not quote Demon Knight around Billy Zane. I mean, it's a moral imperative, dude.
I told him the quote. What's the first deal you make with the devil? You don't. And he kills Thomas Hayden Church. Yeah, I'm very curious. How did you get the Diablo name? Because when we did the Indie Escape meet and greet, like the very first one where we all did the panel, I sent it to my mom, and I was like, "Hey, mom, check. I don't know, I'm doing something. Check this out." She's like, "All right." I didn't think she was gonna check it out, but I sent it to her. After we were done, she sent me a message back, and she said, "Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that. I like that you're doing something like that." She goes, "I really like the Diablo and the puppet." I was like, "Oh, Scott Meany?" She goes, "Yeah, I like him and Diablo." I was like, "Oh, but I want to know, where's the Diablo name come from?"
They should just from birth. I mean, I've got a weird 999 tattoo on the back of my head that no one's ever been able to explain. No, when I joined a band called the Manic Mondayz, I mean, I was just sort of picked. It's one of those things of developing so much character that you just built an alter ego. So the name, the persona that I sort of created was just Max Diablo. So I've always been a bit of a silver-tongued devil, as I like to call myself, or think of myself. So it just Max Diablo just sort of stuck, and then it's just sort of become synonymous, titular, if you will, just for the sake of saying titular. Oh, some Cyrillic person got blocked for 5 minutes.
Did I did. I did, because there's some.
That's my friend Carwhip.
Really?
No, I don't know
okay.
them.
Okay, I was like, you read that? Because usually they put something on there, and I'm like, what is? I've noticed that with Joe lately when he's been doing the end of the night. I can see people.
You gotta watch Joe. He's got those crazy sneaky versions.
Ray Shepard said, "Joe, originally you're right. Talent like Jaysens needs to be showcased." Oh, look at that. Showing off. Let's see. What did Joe originally say?
You guys are too nice. I think a lot of this. I don't think I probably should clean my web camera, because I think a lot of people. I look like the person that they think is someone famous. Happens a lot. So it's like I think a lot of it is just sort of like a doppelganger dilemma.
Joe says, "I want to see Jaysen on my show." Oh wait, Joe, you're on every show. I'll get Joe in here right now. Throw him an invite.
Uh-oh.
I get him in trouble over here. No, but I mean, Yeah, like the name you said you stuck all your life. You just kind of went with it. It's kind of like my name's CJ. It's my name's Carlos, but at a very young age, I had my same name as my dad, so they just stuck me with my initials, and that's all I've known. Even like there was like an like my first true identity crisis when I was like 18 and applying for jobs, and I was like people were calling like for Carlos. I was like I don't know. Oh wait, that's me. You know, it's like because I don't go by that name unless I'm in Mexico, and then but I would but I'd be like so I had to start putting when I was like I don't know. Yeah, it was for a while I had that issue, and then I was just like I'll just start putting CJ on my resumes there. Let's see what Joe said. Meaning I don't have a show.
Why don't you have a show, Joe?
The Joe Show.
Yeah. See, poster finds itself.
Do you have a convention that you that sticks out the most from all conventions that you enjoyed, or are they all kind
of? There's just been a lot, like so many. One was super rad. One of the Mysticons that we did because we were screening a black and white 25-minute black and white film called Between Hell and a Hard Place, which is effectively the closest I'll ever get to making an episode of the original Twilight Zone. I love that movie. But we screened it at Mysticon, and their celebrity guest was Sean Maher from Firefly.
Okay, yeah.
He played Dr. Simon Tam on Firefly. Ended up I had sweet talked again the golden words of the silver-tongued devil and how they benefit the filmmaker. I told the Miss Company, I'm like, you should really have like an indie film guest of honor. They're like, yeah, that'd be a good idea. I'm like, it should probably be me. They're like, oh, I'm like, it's okay, I'll get a sash made and everything. And they're like, oh, okay, well, if you get a sash. So I had the sash made. I'm like, duh. So and then we were practically, we were legally committed at that point. So I ended up being the indie film guest of honor. I did a lot of moderating for panels and stuff like that at these conventions I went to. For some reason, people put me next to other people to talk to them or to get them to talk more. So I ended up was doing a moderating the panel with Sean, and like 6 questions into it. So I called on something. They're like, yeah, I got a question for filmmaker Jaysen Buterin there. What would you say your directing style is like? And like, it was just, you could hear the needle scratch off the record because Sean's jaw kind of dropped a little bit. He looked at me. I'm like, I have no idea who the fuck this is. And everyone else got like kind of turned around because like you don't do that. You're there to like everyone's there to ask the celebrity guest all this stuff. And he's like, I have a question for filmmaker Jaysen Buterin. That was my friend Kenny. And we became quick friends after that. Like that was one of my favorite con moments. And I mean, there's just a lot of brilliant ones. I've been a very, very, very lucky boy. And I've met a lot of famous people, and they're just people. And that once you kind of, I don't know, what you reach a certain mindset where it's like it just sort of shifts a little bit, and everything just gets a lot more relaxed, and you're able to have conversations with people. And you kind of you have to tone down the fanboy, fangirl, fan person sort of part, and just have a conversation. And you would be amazed at what will happen. Hanging out, we were in Kentucky, Paducah, Fandom Fest. The Revenge of the Nerds cast was there. This was back like 2012, 13, something like that. And ended up just hanging out with the entire cast of Revenge of the Nerds and like buying them all drinks, and like we just got wonderfully drunk together. And I was sitting there talking with Robert Carradine. He's like, you look like my dad did when he was your age. And he's talking about his dad, John Carradine. I'm like, fuck. And it's just like, I mean, having these drunken conversations like that will never, ever, ever happen again. But I still remember them fuzzily. So I've got that going for me, which is nice.
Yeah, I got a Tony Todd conversation in Rhode Island. I was like, whoa, how did this happen? How did I end up having a drink with him? This is insane.
It's super. You just at the conventions. I mean, you never know who you're gonna run into. It's just it's super rad.
And this was your movie right here, right? Hell in a Hard Place.
Yeah, Between Hell and a Hard Place.
Between Hell and a Hard Place. There's this so like just as I like to be my filmmaker sense and pick your brain a little bit on just like when you write something like this, because this is the bandit, not the bandit one, the kidnap one, or
kind of the hitman driving out in the middle of nowhere to bury a body.
Was this because oh man, that I'll just throw it out there. I have an idea I've been working on for a movie with a guy on the up and coming that he has to get rid of a body, but he doesn't know how. And I was like, how would you get rid of a body, especially nowadays? So I was going through that, writing that. I was just going through like trying to break down ideas that I liked, and I was actually breaking them down and then just kind of subbing things out. On this one, was this something like that? Because I'm pretty sure, or have you drug somebody in the middle of nowhere and the desert.
Yeah, no, I mean, all I'm gonna say is, digging graves is hard fucking work, kids. Like it's a lot fucking harder than you think it's gonna be. But no, that wanted to the Twilight Zone always had a very profound and prolific impact on me from a very young age, and I've always wanted to just somehow go back and be a part of that. So writing this between Hell and a Hard Place, I knew I wanted it to be black and white. And originally, it was gonna be part of an anthology called Beneath the Old Dark House, which just had a screening at the Alamo Draft House. Matt Cloud put it together, and it's fucking brilliant. But I wanted to do I just wanted that black and white ghost story kind of a thing. And a lot of times with what I write, I'll have an idea. It'll stew or germinate for a couple of years. I'll write the first thing, the last thing, and then I'll just make up everything in between.
Damn, yeah.
And with Between Hell and Our Place, it started because I was really stoned one night and watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Like the Donald Sutherland moment comes up, like it's very at the very end. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's creepy. Like I want, and that exact little frozen scene stuck in my head, and then that sort of inspired everything. That sort of inspired a movie that had nothing to do with body snatchers. And it just, it evolved wonderfully downhill from there. But it's one of my favorite film set experiences. I got to work with my brother Michael Williams, Mr. Patrick G. Keenan, who were just wonderful. We had these amazing cars from Mr. Michael McBride. I mean, just classic pieces of, just American steel. And I got to drive one. I had to drive it through Charlotte, North Carolina. I was really fucking terrified because people in Charlotte drive like epic shit. It was crazy, but we survived.
That's good. You're here. Well, yes. I got somebody in the green room who's gonna come hang out with us, Mr. Yeah, look, here's a little crash on the party. Got Joe Ridgely up in here. What's up, Joe?
Okay, so now I have a new bucket list thing to check off. I need to drink with carradine and booger at the same time.
It's a weird fucking experience, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back in time, and I wanted to call 1984 me and be like, I know things suck now, but it's going to get so much better.
Was Carradine wearing a Darth Vader mask by chance?
Nah. Careful, because we're gonna get our conversation canceled if we dive into much further areas. Well, no, it's weird. It's like it was like watch those movies now, like watching them now, and it's just like, the world is a weird place now. No Darth Vader mask, no, none of that. Takahashi was there though. That was crazy. Ogre, Larry,
Ogre,
massive,
that guy's huge,
massive individual. And then Curtis Armstrong. The Revenge of the Nerds thing was cool, but then I kept flashing the Better Off Dead. I'm like, I wanted to have a pig in a jar and be like, I can't feel my eye. But I was going to give him some snow, but we were in Kentucky in July. I was like, I can't afford the snow here. It was great. Awesome. Put that shit in a bucket and do whatever you're going to do. I lost track of that one.
I'm typing things at the same time because Mr. Staley is converting videos for me from the convention this weekend because unfortunately my computer doesn't know how to convert MOV to MP4. So
was it a great weekend, Joe?
Absolutely, a great freaking weekend. If you guys haven't, well, actually, I'm going to be posting some stuff, but John Dugan can outdrink and stay awake longer than any one of us at 67 years old, 68 years old.
Oh, well, dude, yeah, I believe that. I could see that. I'm an early bird though, so he's gonna totally drink me into the table.
For those of you who don't know, John Dugan played Grandpa in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and there was a panel there with 3 of the original Chainsaw Massacre guys. And after the show ended at 6 p.m., John ended up in our suite, and he hung out for about an hour or so. And he's like, I have to go to dinner. I'm like, all right, cool. So then the indie escaped through the after party with a little bit of liquor and everything. And then everybody came down to the dining room around 9 o'clock or so. Well, 2 a.m. rolls around and everybody's still there. And then, a few people were like, it's time to go. And John's like, hey, Joe, you guys going up to your room? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'll see you in a few. What?
So hey, it's fun, man. Celebrity parties. I could totally love to be part of one.
He stayed till 4 a.m.
Well, we're glad. We can't wait to see that, Joe. The Jaysens Show. You're gonna plug it in right now.
Jason, Diablo After Dark. Jaysen. I'm sorry. Is it Jaysen Buterin? What is it?
It can be anything you want it to be, Joe.
Oh, come on. I'm busting chops. And when I first introduced Jaysen on when he actually guest hosted a number of times, everybody knows for the Indie Brigade, something like that. Yes.
Never answer a phone call from Joe at 9 o'clock on a Friday is what I learned.
8:55. Thank you.
8:55.
Dave's in the house.
David Lee Madison's The End of the Night on the Indie Escape Network.
Oh, but it's
Sunday
just a
nights,
gentleman. Just the one gentleman, which he's got to be talking to, I guess, CJ.
No, he's talking over there. I don't want the push over here. I'll take it. Yes, I'm the.
But Jaysen, you always know the invitation is open. Anytime you want to do something on the Indie Escape Network, CJ bugs me all the time about you, so I figured I'd throw the invitation out.
You guys are too nice.
All right. Well, Joe, thanks for stopping by. Just wanted to say what's up.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, guys. Have a great night. Awesome interview and show. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.
Pleasure to have you, Joe.
Peace. And that's how we have it here at the Indie Escape family. We just kind of hang out and watch each other's backs here and there. So for Madison, what's up? You know, it's kind of cool about like not just the fact that I stumbled upon everybody around February of this time last year. I mean, well, last year February, and just being able just to all the hospitality, all the knowledge, everything, just like from you, like having conversations with you or just on social media, like. It really helps like me understand that like there are other people out there because I'm in Texas and it's kind of Texas filmmakers. They're either I feel like it's either all in or they don't like you got to work your way all the way up. And you film in North Carolina. Do you find that to be like a struggle, like finding what you need, or is it nowadays everything's so caught up, or at least the people you know are up to date that you don't have to like try so hard?
It just sort of depends. I mean, we shot Kill Giggles in 2019, and we haven't done anything new. So we've been on a couple of sets, but we haven't really made anything new since that because we went into post and we've been in distribution limbo. We're waiting for a release date from Hollywood and stuff like that. But the people, I mean, it's you've got assholes in every group. So it's learning to be able to filter out the useless people, the people that just want to be like, I'm a filmmaker. What have you made? Oh, you haven't really, they don't have anything to back it up. And finding the people that want to actually make something, that want to be able to create something. I don't have any of the technical gear, the cameras, the equipment or anything like that. That's not what I want to do. I want to write and direct. I want to be able to tell these stories, to create these worlds. But I've made friends with brilliant people that know the equipment that I trust implicitly. So it's like just being able, and then being, like I said, I mentioned sort of the incestuous part, the community part of it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's because I've been on our friend's film set where I'm holding the boom mic. Not a sound person, not a sound designer, sound director at all, really like that. But I mean, they need a grip. You need someone to hold the boom mic or move cables or something like that, and it just helps. It helps speed up the production of the set, and it helps everything go and flow smoother. I can't just sit on a fucking film that, even though there's all those times where you sit around doing nothing. And then you got to do stuff for like 2 minutes, and then you sit around and you do nothing for a really long time. I can't just be one of those sit around and do nothing people on a film set. Like there's always something that needs to be done, or there's some way to be able to help. So it's learning that aspect too, and being able to work with the people and finding the people that they know that you may not know, and just extending those broader concentric circles and just meeting who you need to meet to be able to make what you want to make. And it's not hard.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you want to do and what you want to do with it. If you want to make short films and just tour the festival circuit, there's a wonderful, wonderful adventure awaiting you. If you make a bunch of shorts and then you decide that you want to make a feature and then you get picked up by a Hollywood studio and then you have to spend like 18 months in deliverable hell.
Yeah.
I would advise you maybe to pursue other creative interests or start drinking like a lot.
Drink a lot. Pick it up
professionally. So yeah, it just, I don't know. that quote you quoted for me, who needs therapy when you make movies? I fully believe that most filmmakers needs therapy. But I mean, that's sort of the beauty of becoming a filmmaker. I mean, I wanted to kill clowns, so I did. I did it in a movie, and it's that wonderful catharsis of being, we talk about being able to create these worlds. And there's always that wonderful glossing over that rose color. We're doing this to create movie magic and do stuff, and it's this wonderful outlet, and that part is true. But there's a sinister side to it. There's a dark side to everything, where sometimes you just want to kill the shit out of like clowns. You want to smack people. You want to start a food fight. You want to push someone's face in fucking jello, what have you. You want to be able to say all those things to the person that broke up with you back in the 8th grade that you didn't think of until like 14 years later. Not from a personal reference of me by any means, but that's the beauty. To me, that's the beauty of filmmaking, is to be able to create those worlds, to create those instances that we don't get to live out necessarily. Some people live them out vicariously in their own head, but it's about taking them out of your head and putting them on screen somehow. It's about birthing them into this world and making them real, making them physical. Even if it's just on a screen, it's still zeros and ones, but it's something that didn't exist until it sprang out of someone's head. And I like that almost mythological aspect of movie making.
Yeah, and like Joe says, that's what indie's all about. You're right. Now, as we're getting close to the Hokey Pokey, that's what it's all about. Hey, so we're getting close to the end, but I did want to say I was wearing my wearing my Ghostbusters shirt.
I was admiring your very fine shirt, sir. I like it very much.
I was gonna wear my my Manic Mondayz shirt, but I was like, no, I'm having Jaysen on, and he really liked Ghostbusters Afterlife a lot, to the point where I had to go watch it in the theater. Now we're at the part of the show where we're gonna talk about let's talk movies. Ghostbusters. Is that your jam, or what are your movies? What are the ones the movies that you like to just stop and watch, and that makes everything like perfect for you?
I mean, Ghost was for me because I think it was Halloween 1985. Yeah, my very patient Bonita Mamacita helped me make my own Ghostbusters costume because I looked exactly like the kid from the Goldbergs. It was fucking creepy. Yeah, like exactly. So and I saw the 2016 Ghostbusters, and I just didn't like this.
Yeah, I know.
Story.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me. So to be able to see Afterlife, and then I mean, just for no spoilers, I guess, whatever. The emotional, like, I mean, I was bawling in that movie. I mean, it struck several very emotional chords. And then to be able to take my boy to go see it was just an amazing experience for me as a father, as a filmmaker. But I mean, it's just, I love that movie. It makes me happy, and there are a lot that are like that. Like, there's just certain movies I will watch if I'm scrolling, channel surfing or whatever like that. Like, I'll just watch them in their entirety, no matter where they're at. If it's the first scene, first 5 minutes, or the last 10. I love A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger. All that, like, I love that. I fucking love that movie. I mean, Heath Ledger was just fucking dreamy anyway, amazingly talented person. But like that movie and like 10 Things I Hate About You, like, I love those movies. Anything John Hughes, The Exorcist. I mean, The Exorcist 3, I love both of those. Exorcist 3 has one of the, probably the defining jump scare for me. Yeah, I mean, all sorts of stuff. I just got the Tales from the Dark Side series on DVD.
Nice. Yes.
I'm very excited to explore and dive back into that. But I love watching movies. I just don't get as much of a chance, it seems like, anymore.
Yeah.
Even The Apocalypse, which it seems like I should have more time to watch movies, but I don't.
And any anthologies you think you want to make or have in your head think coming out with?
Always anthologies. I want to do an anthology really bad. But to me, I think the thing that where a lot of anthologies fall short is they have great content, but they don't necessarily have as strong that wraparound. That's no matter if it's an animated narrator or if it's comic books that tie to each. There has to be something that ties all of the pieces together and explains why they're together. And I think a lot of anthologies fall short, and they'll just have something that's like, oh, look, and now it's and they'll just go from one, and it's not. It's just a series of shorts.
Yeah.
It's not, and it's not. It's not forming cinematic Voltron, you know. It's not 5 short films
Yes.
to make one mighty lion film. It's 5 shitty cat films, you know.
Yeah.
Watch a shitty cat film. Well, I mean, some people do want to watch shitty cat films, but that's not who we're going after with our Indie Escape Network.
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna say shitty cat films. For some reason, they still get the clicks. I don't get it.
I know they'll get billions more YouTube hits than I ever will. You know, they get like 600,000. I get 6, and 5 of them are me. I'm like, woo! The other 2 are odd, but I'm like, fuck it, I'll take that.
Just, yeah, I think it's as long as you're throwing it out there, I feel you can make a connectivity where it's showing like an arc. Like this person was here waiting. Like they literally, like especially with you with your movie, like and doing interviews, it's like he literally waited. You can see him having to go through it. Like it's a son of a bitch. Like it's like, but he's got this thing he created. He's waiting it out. It's like it's inspiration for all of us too. And even like for me growing up, the Cat's Eye, that movie got me with the little troll.
Mm-hmm.
I could not sleep like comfortable for years. I'm talking about like outside of elementary. I saw that when I was really young, but I saw like outside of elementary, like even in high school, I would sleep with the blanket like tucked under my feet, and then get my like in a pod. I was like, that little guy's not gonna get me. You know, he has a knife, but still, like I know if he's getting close to me. But that movie for some reason, just I guess the fact that it was a troll, or the fact that we didn't own a cat, I think that was the thing that bothered me. But there's a
yeah, it was just that was that Creep Show was a brilliant anthology too.
Yeah.
I mean, Creep Show 1 and Creep Show 2, I think. But I mean, that's the thing was, I think with a lot of modern anthologies, I've seen some. There was one, Don't Let the Light In was a part of one, and I had it to where it was the setting was at a movie theater. And I just remember because watching, you know, in the opening thing, they had the poster spaces out front. I mean, I counted, I think 8. And there was 5 short films in the anthology. It was like, but they just had other. I think they were empty. Like they were either empty or they were blurred out or something. I was like, why not put the movie posters even digitally? Like the movies that are in the anthology, put those in the movie poster slots of the theater out front. Like but it was all thrown together and just hodgepodge and everything else like that. It was. You have to treat the wraparound as a separate entry in the anthology, or else it all falls apart. So that's why I would love to do an anthology someday, but it just requires an immense amount of planning on multiple levels. Like you've got to have that project planner in charge of the anthology as a whole, and then the individual films and stuff like that. Like it's a Herculean amount of effort.
Yeah, the story would have to be very clear in order to follow. Yeah.
Well, then you've got to have a lot. I mean, there's got to be like trust going into it, and then it's like, I mean, as you know, as any filmmaker knows, anything that can go wrong will. So it's being able to adapt when you get so many different people involved. Like it's a lot. There's a group, a film festival we've screened at a few times. Very, 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 very kind to us. Genre Blast Film Festival out of Winchester, Virginia. And they've actually got Genre Blast films now, but they're doing a vacation anthology called Worst Laid Plans. And I was following that progress, and like that's one that I'm really, really excited about because I know the filmmakers involved, and I know they'll be able to pull it off right. So yeah, if we've got anyone out there that has an obscene amount of money they want to spend on an anthology, talk to me and CJ, and we will make fucking magic happen.
I did want to talk to you about this because I've heard this, you bring this up a few times, and I bring this up all the time, every time, because it happens all the freaking time. Murphy's Law on the day of filmmaking. How familiar are you with that?
I call it Aka Murphy's Law of Razors. Yeah, where it's the simplest thing that can go wrong will.
I've had so many issues on when I'm filming that like it never goes right. It never goes, like something has to. My lead actor, he's in the reserve, so he forgot that day we were filming, he was shipping out for a week. So I was like, great. The when he gets back, it doesn't matter. The deadline's by the time he gets back. So, you know, here I am. I was just gonna direct. Now I have to act, and my whole crew is like, "Oh, you put yourself in the movie?" No, I didn't. Like this guy, like literally, like,
do you want to do it, motherfucker?
Yeah, I was like, "You guys want?" I go, "Do you want to learn lines?" And they don't, and they get upset. And I'm like, "Well, I'm just trying to figure out where this is going." You know, other things like my computer will stop working, or my memory will be full, and I'm like, I don't have time to delete everything. I don't have to, you know, it's like so. I've learned so many things now that if something were like to fall off, the tripod were to break, I'd be like, whatever, let's go. Let's just go. We got camera still working. Let's go. Like it doesn't, but it like
that shit, make it artsy.
Yeah, I know, now it's an art film. You know, and it even happens sometimes where I've had somebody tell me in my short film, like they'd be like, "Oh, that was a nice angle." I was like, "Dude, that I didn't know what a Dutch angle was. I just broke the tripod broke and just stopped there." And I just
Tripod sliding down.
yeah, I was like, just went with it. And, nice pan. How'd you get it? It was breaking as it was going. The Titanic was falling, and I just jumped off at the last second.
That's when you just make some shit up.
Yeah. Dude, you brought up John Hughes. I was watching Dutch the other day, and I was like, man, this has that Dutch that
pinky ring.
Oh, it has that John Hughes feel, but it definitely doesn't have like I could bring this home to like a family and be like, hey, watch this John Hughes movie. It's 60 candles all over again. Like, but like I think, I mean, even like us having children, and you know, like I went to go watch my son watch the new Tom and Jerry movie, which I was like, you know, I'm gonna go in there with an open mind. But to me, it doesn't matter anymore because that's our movie that we watched together, that we both went and saw it. So that like holds dear to me. And then I still remember when my dad took me to go watch T2. I was like, oh, we're gonna go watch Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's got this like huge. He's like they had like this cutout of him on a motorcycle and the Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and there he is. I'm like, look how big he is. He's so massive, and gotta go watch this movie. And my dad we just watched it. We stayed quiet and we just sat there and watched and saw the whole thing. And I was just like, oh, I was like in second grade. It was like, awesome. That was cool, you know. But you know, watching that, and I also remember like Gremlins. Gremlins is one of those movies.
Oh yeah, wonderful Christmas movie.
You know, I didn't even realize it till later in life that it was a Christmas movie. I was just I didn't even know it was a horror movie or like I guess a fantasy thriller. I don't know, but I took it as just a movie that I enjoyed. And
that's all it should be. When you start thinking about genres and what box shit fits in, you're starting to lose sight of it.
I think, and I honestly, I think you're right about that. And just trying to figure out like where I feel comfortable writing and letting it out. Like I really don't care. I think it's just I'm at the point now where it's like I've done enough short movies. Time to jump into the feature. Trying to figure it out. It's just time's gonna pass either way. So either you figured it out and you're doing it, or you're just waiting and you're trying to figure it out. I'm just like, just do it, because either way, it's gonna have something at the end. And I'd rather have something at the end than nothing. Because at least with something, if it's crap, you can at least show it. But nothing, you have nothing. So
no one can ever unmake that crap, though. That's your crap.
And that's what, and I am. And you gotta love your crap, because you're gonna make bigger and better crap, right? But we're running out. I don't want to take any more of your time. I know it's a special day for you. And I do want to appreciate you coming on here, man. It was really big deal for me.
I appreciate you having me, sir. It's been wonderful chatting with you.
Yeah, and then I love the social media posts. Like the Daddy Princess cracks me up. I think like I need to get started like a children's book with you. I just need to get started and writing it. I think you'd be the perfect person to write a good adventure of Daddy Princess. Like that'd be like
Daddy Princess was fun. Yeah, that was a Christmas card photo shoot. We ended up doing like the Nutcracker thing. So I wanted to be the ballerina, and my wife is does a professional dancer, you know, classically trained ballet and stuff like that. So she had the outfit. So I put on the tiara and the tutu and stuff like that. I still like to wear the tiara. Tutu not so much. The tiara just makes me feel pretty. I like to feel pretty. I think it's important.
I understand why they wear it.
Yeah, Daddy Princess. Well, I started like writing stuff with my son too. The Dark Lord. It was a couple years ago, but we started just he would write a line, I would write a line, he would write a line, I would write a line. We're on our third or fourth story now. This one's The Adventures of Jack and Daddy and the Rise of Blood Moons and Black Knights. But yeah, so I mean, we've just been doing stuff like that. So yeah, write a children's series, dude. Just like start, like put a pencil in their hand and just go back and forth. It's super.
Right now we're doing ladders and slides. He likes so he's explaining to me I have a dry erase board and let him go to town. That way when he's done, I take a picture of it and erase it. It's good. And you know, less mess. So he'll get it. Lately he's been coming up to me. He gets it and he goes, "Oh, what do you think? Does this slide? Does it go? Is it fun? Is it fun?" I'm like, yeah, you're right. Let's put more. What do you need to put? He goes, he'll get the marker and it's put a bunch of circles and more turns. And I'm like, yeah, that's actually how you create an idea. Yeah, more. Let's add more to it. Let's keep making it. Let's have some fun. Let's get it going. You know, and we're into the right now Ice Age movies, and they have quite a few. So I do like that he's in the dinosaur world, and we go on dinosaur adventures, and now he has a time machine. So we've been doing time machine adventures. It's pretty fun. But he gets mad at me because I can't fit in the time machine, but somehow I still end up in the Jurassic period. So I'm
What's
like,
up,
hey.
the time and space machine? I mean, that's a TARDIS. Like, that's a little blue phone box, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what we do. Well, thank you, Jaysen, for coming on here, man. I look forward to seeing you whenever I can and chatting with you whenever we can.
Well, yeah, I'll be
yeah.
in Austin in the 17th of February, like 3 weeks. At Giggle screens at the Austin Revolution Film Festival on Thursday, February 17th.
Do you want to plug that in real quick? You want to talk about that?
I just did.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez, dude. No, yeah, Austin Revolution Film Festival, which has been an amazing festival to us. We've been very fortunate to screen there several times, and they were going to have a thing in 2020, but then the apocalypse stuck its thumb up the butt of all of our plans. And not in the fun way, not in the unfun way. So they didn't have a 2020 thing, and they were going to do it in 2021, but nope, still thumb up the butt. So they're having a physical event in 3 weeks, tots and pairs, and it's going to be amazing because Mad Ones Films wouldn't be where we are without festivals like the Austin Revolution. So for Giggles to screen, because a lot of the people there listen to me talk about it for many years, but to be able to bring it back to our family makes me very happy. So Thursday, February 17th at 11:30 p.m. we're screening with some brilliant short films. There's going to be a few short films first, so we'll probably be like a midnight film, but it's gonna be the Austin, Texas premiere, and it makes me very happy to be able to go back to our family festival and to be able to show it there. So I hope I get to see CJ there. That'll be cool. We'll go to Torchy's and get tacos.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, I've been here way too long, man. I'll give you the whole, pull out the red carpet, and then we're gonna pick it off and then throw it again and make it blue. We're gonna have some fun. And pick it up, throw it again, make it gray. Pick it up, throw it yellow, green. We're gonna have some fun.
I like it.
Yeah, dude. But thank you for coming on, and I'll see you here, man. Take care.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
Goodbye.
Well, everybody, thank you for joining us, and thank you for Jaysen for coming on. It was a great interview. I really appreciate it. It was yes, thank you, Joe Ridgely. Thank you for stopping by as well. We got shows coming on the Indie Escape, so hit us up tomorrow. We got Steve Gray coming on. He's going to we're gonna talk about his full series that he unleashed on YouTube, and I'll be interviewing him as well and just hanging out. So we'll see y'all later. Thank you for everything, and good night. Peace.